Hello. Hey guys. Um, Welcome to our Monday training. Okay. Just making sure.
Welcome to.
Okay, good. I think our technology is good. Let me know, as always, if you're here joining me, where you're from, how long you've been in the group. I'm curious, some of you guys have been here from its inception, which is 2019. And so we're growing, and it's just really exciting to see what God is doing among a lot of your hearts and the transition He's making to help you to really honor your bodies and to understand that this is just as important as your spiritual walk, as your emotional health, as all those things. Like honoring your body and learning how to steward it well is really, really important. So today we're back on the getting really practical train, and we will help you today with meal planning. So let's get started. All right. So today's training is five tips for faster dinners. And I know that this is a really big struggle for a lot of you guys, and I get it. Um, a lot of you will tell me when we talk that being too busy is a common excuse that you have, or that you really are experiencing. A lot of you, most of us, all of us are busy, right? And so we have a lot of things to juggle. Again, I understand. I have 3 kids, 6 and under. I run a business. I homeschool. I try to keep my house looking presentable, right? So it's hard to do all of those things. So I know a lot of times as moms, we can kind of let our own health and our own weight loss journey slide to the back burner because we say, well, I have all these other priorities, all of these other things that I have to do. And so taking care of myself isn't just not that important. But I just want to help you to shift your mindset, because if you are not taking care of yourself, you're not showing up to be the very best version of you for your family, for your husband, for your job, for whatever it is that you do. And you're predisposing yourself to problems down the line. Again, I've been a PA for 10 years. I know that if you can see food as medicine, and if you can see health as the identity, a part of the identity of your family, it's going to change things down the line for you and your kids from a disease prevention standpoint. So you have to start to think differently. Like your health journey has to be a priority. So we are going to bust the myth that you do not have enough time to be healthy. So let's talk through this. And if you are waiting until you get home, or you're waiting until 4 o'clock to decide what to eat, and then battle it out with your family or your kids, and then look to see if you have the ingredients and then cook it, you are wasting so much time. Okay. How many of you do this? How many of you wait until the moment of dinner to decide what to eat? Okay. So I want to again encourage you to start shifting your mindset that planning food is just a part of what you have to do. And some of you are like, oh, I don't like to plan. I don't want to think about doing that. If you always fight it, then this will always be a struggle for you, because you're always going to feel like you're behind. So you have to just accept, like, okay, I'm going to get into the habit of meal planning and having this be a part of what I do. Again, we have an entire mini course on planning and scheduling, and I'll drop that in the comments after this live, just in case you want to sign up for that. I know a lot of you are working through this because the scheduling piece, like knowing how to schedule your weight loss, can be confusing. What do I need to schedule? So I'll drop that down. But if you have a plan, if you take the time beforehand to plan out your dinners, and we can teach you to do this in a really easy way, so you're not planning out every single meal, you're going to save time. Okay. So taking a little bit of time ahead of time is going to save you time in the long run. So this is tip number 1 for faster dinners, right? You have to have a plan to reduce decision fatigue in the moment. And again, if you need help with this, we have a whole course to teach you how to do this. But it can seem obvious. A lot of you know this, but if you want to have faster dinners, you have to go into them knowing what you're going to cook. Okay. Number two tip for faster dinners is to use your contraptions wisely, or invest in some, right? So what do I mean? I think you should have in your arsenal a few things, and you can decide what works best for your family and your what you like to use. But I think an Instapot, an air fryer, a crock pot, these are really helpful tools. So I know it might seem like, and actually you could probably get, I think they make some where they combine some of those features. But some of these, like a crock pot, is not a quick tool unless you have a plan to use it ahead of time, right? And knowing what recipes to use. But these are such amazing tools. So you don't have to come home and use your oven every day, okay? But I'm curious, for those of you watching, which one of these are your favorites? Like, what are your I can't live without contraptions? And tell us what you love to make. Again, crock pot meals, they can be 10-minute meals. You just have to know that you're going to make them. You can throw it all in and then you come home and dinner is made. It's a lovely thing. So use your contraptions wisely. That is tip number 2. Okay. Number 3 tip for faster dinners is to batch cook and to understand how to do this and to build you in your tool belt how to do this. So some examples of batch cooking. So making meat. So say you're making ground turkey and using that for a few different meals with different spices. So again, this takes some planning and knowing what to do, but it can be really helpful. You can also freeze that and use it for later. Maybe you're going to cut up peppers and onions and you're going to use them for fajitas and you're going to use them for a salad and you're going to use them for omelets, but the preparation piece is already done. So you just have to grab and then go. Also, like if you know what you're going to be cooking, even if you have 10 minutes in the morning to prep it, then it can just be such a burden off of you to come home and just have everything and just be able to cook it, right? You can also, again, you can make extras with anything, most things, and then freeze it, and then you can just pull it out ahead of time. But again, this goes back to tip number 1 with planning. So batch cooking is going to be your new best friend as well. So what do you like to batch cook? If you have a favorite meal that you love batch cooking, drop that. Or if you have a few of them that you combine together, drop that in the comments too. I'd love to hear what you're doing. And then, okay, let's move on. So number 4, this goes back to our talk last week. Changing your expectation of what a meal has to be, right? A meal doesn't have to be classy or pretty, and it doesn't even have to be hot. We just want to help you to find quick ways to get real food in. And so maybe you grew up with a mom who made these really elaborate meals and that's what you expect, or maybe your husband expects that, or maybe you just feel like you have to have a whole hot meal for your kids, or you're not a good mom, or maybe if your kids are eating leftovers and you're eating something you threw together, it feels like it's not a family event. I just want to help you to release that expectation that we can help you to have a lot of good, real food without it being the way that you think it should be. Okay. That will save you time too. All right. And then number 5. So the number 5 way to make faster meals, this is a shameless plug that you should sign up for Thursday's masterclass. So we are going to be helping you to build your family catalog. This is one thing that we do in Fit Moms Academy. So Fit Moms Academy is our broader 16-week coaching program where you get that whole lifestyle makeover, right? And a piece of that is creating a family catalog of go-to healthy meals. And so in this masterclass that I'm teaching on Thursday, I will be showing you how to build your family catalog of 20-minute meals. And this will include meals for the Instapot, for the crock pot, what to make when you come home and you're short on time and you don't have a plan, what to make when you're really short on time, how to batch cook. So it's including a lot of these different tools. I'll also be going over my number 1 favorite tool that I've recently discovered that's going to help you to make these meals taste really, really good. Again, it's going to help you to reduce decision fatigue. You're going to be doing a lot of work in this masterclass so that you can leave feeling really equipped. So if you're on the fence, like, I don't know if it's worth the $20, it's going to be worth the $20 and even more than that, because you're going to be saving that on groceries, because we also know that if you have a plan for meals, you save money on groceries. So if you want more on this and you're like, man, I really want to master the quick meals thing, then sign up for Thursday's masterclass. The link is all over the group. I'll drop it here below, but it'll be well worth your money and your time. that is, once you sign up, you'll get into a private Facebook group and we'll have a Zoom link. And then if you can't make it on Thursday, that's okay. The replay link will be available through the weekend. So you'll have plenty of time to catch up and to spend time making your family catalog. Okay. I think that's all I got, guys. So hopefully this is helpful to give you some ideas for where to get started on how to make dinners faster. But the thing is, like, when you start doing some of this work up front to reframe the way that you see health and to stop doing it begrudgingly, but to develop systems, everything's going to flow faster. Just like anything that you feel like you're disorganized in, once you start having systems so that it just flows, then life becomes so much easier and you can breathe. And the benefit here is that you will start losing weight by proxy of eating real food. So anyway, love you all. And I'm so grateful you're here in our community today. Please drop any comments with what stuck out to you the most or any tips that you can share with the community as well. Bye, guys.